You might think, it's just another fast vehicle, not a big deal. Oh no. After playing this vehicle, you will split your War Thunder experience into two parts. Before you tried this SPAA and after. And every tank's mobility you will compare to this one, because speed for it is not just the ability to capture point first at the beginning of a match. No, you can already hide at enemy's capture point while they are just capturing it. For this vehicle, significant mobility advantage is what its gameplay is based around. Speed is the key to survive and attack others. First of all, revelation. Being fast doesn't destroy enemy tanks, so let's take a look at how you will get rid of opponents. The vehicle is equipped with 20mm autocannon that can shoot two shell types. High explosive fragmentation incendiary, which has low penetration but very effective against aircraft, and armor-piercing incendiary tracer. That gives you a good chances to deal with enemy ground forces if you get close enough, because the penetration of 20mm bullets is not so big and a small mass makes it lose penetration very quickly over range. And both of these shells are present in all three belt types, just in different proportions. Default one has equal amount of both of them, another has two high explosive and one armor piercing bullets, making it more effective against air targets, while the last one is opposite and has more armor piercing shells. This way, no matter what belt type you use, you will always have bullets that could penetrate armor or explode on impact, making all belts viable against all types of targets. In other words, out of two shell types, you are given three belt types to choose from, and they all are combination of these two shells. Yet you still have to make a decision, and usually you will benefit more by having more armor-piercing projectiles, because aircraft are vulnerable targets that can be destroyed by any type of ammunition, while most ground targets will be completely immune to high explosive ones, making a huge portion of your shots ineffective. On the other hand, cannon's rate of fire is almost 1000 shots per minute. It is so fast that it can be hard to distinguish belt types anyway, as even if you load a belt that contains 2/3 of high explosive bullets, gun still shoots 5 armor-piercing projectiles per second. What matters more is effectiveness of your shots, as if you use ineffective belt, it will take more time to destroy tanks. And it's not only that the longer opponents live, the longer they pose danger to you. It is also about conserving ammunition. You start a match with 600 bullets, and with your rate of fire, that's enough for about 35 seconds of continuous fire. The problem is that 600 bullets are held as one clip. That could be a good thing, as you don't need to reload between the engagements, but when you do need to reload, that happens when you run out of ammunition, you face a lot of problems. First, you need to get to a capture point to replenish your ammo. Second, it must be captured by your team. When there is only one point on a map and it belongs to opponents, there is little you can do when your ammunition runs out to capture it. And third, ammo replenishment takes a long time, about 1 minute. That means that you have to stand still for this duration, usually in the middle of a map, on a spot that both teams are fighting for, so it gets the most attention, and where most artillery shells are dropped. So running out of ammunition should be avoided if you don't want to face all these problems. Surviving in a heat of battle is even more difficult because the vehicle almost doesn't have armor. It is made of aluminum, which is great to make vehicle lighter or sell it as scrap, but it's less effective against shells than standard armor plates. The thickest 33mm of armor plates are in front, and because they are angled, you can reliably tank high caliber machine guns. But once you expose your sights, even the weakest weapons in a game will do damage. Though not everything is so bad, as usually you can survive after being shot thanks to 4 crew members, which is an unusually large amount of people in such a small vehicle. And sometimes even APHE shells fuses won't activate. But if enemies use high explosive shells, hull break mechanics will send you to hangar instantly. The thing that really can help you to stay alive under enemy fire is your mobility, because it is so significant. For the most fast vehicles, the speed advantage is just the ability to get to a capture point first, then suicide and respawn in a plane. For this vehicle, it is an effective way to disengage if you don't want to fight the opponent. So many times I was driving through the map just to run into a heavily armored opponent, usually Soviet, and while they were trying to turn their turret towards me, I just passed them by to hide around the next corner. Just make sure you maintain your speed and don't hit any obstacles that could slow you down, because with such little mass, every fence or tree can completely stop your vehicle. Unless of course you clean your way with machine gun, which you should be doing when maintaining speed is more important than staying hidden. Interesting thing is that apparently all the mass is located at the bottom of a vehicle, as sometimes when making sharp turns at high speed, and especially if you shoot in the direction of turn, it gets so close to rolling over, but it still recovers most of the time. Though it still slows you down, and rolling over can be fatal when you are circling your target. And you will drive around your targets in circles a lot, because this vehicle is so effective in doing it, as you combine both keeping your vehicle away from where enemy's gun is pointing and attacking them from different angles. Very often, because small penetration of your projectiles, only enemy side armor can be penetrated, and you will need to look for a weak spot, and additionally make sure to position in a such way that your shells hit enemy's armor at 90 degrees angle for maximum penetration. Fortunately, firing on a move is extremely easy and feels natural when playing this vehicle, because it has a stabilizer, which in addition to autocannon's ability to spam shells, allows you to completely ignore hull movements and keep moving while your opponents will have to stop to shoot precisely. Another good thing that helps you to circle opponents is the ability to rotate your gun 45 degrees per second, which is one of the fastest among all SPAs of the same battle rating and completely outperforms any usual tank. Gun's depression is very good, minus 10 degrees, though vertical guidance allows you to elevate gun to a maximum of 60 degrees, that's something in the middle of SPAA and tank. It might be harder to defend against enemy planes attacking you right from above, but usually aircraft is trying to stay away from you anyway, and even if they do, it's very hard for them to hit a fast moving target from that position. An arcade vehicle is mostly limited to attacking air targets, as light vehicle can do very little in a game mode where enemies can see your name tag. Mostly because you need to get very close so that your shells could penetrate, and even then, if enemies know your position, they will turn to you in advance, and frontal attacks is not the strong side of this vehicle. Plus, majority of opponents in arcade are cowards who hide behind thick steel plates, so they will play heavy or medium tanks, making your attacks even less effective. On the other hand, your gun placement can help with survivability. As you don't have turret, you can feel relatively safe if you bravely hide your hull, leaving only gun visible, as enemy fire is unlikely to damage your crew this way, while the gun can always be repaired. So the best role in arcade is pure SPAA, but at least it's very good SPAA. Vehicle left me very good impressions. Battles are always dynamic, you are always on a move or behind enemy lines, so there is always some action happening around you. And even if action is somewhere else, you can quickly get there. It is most effective at the beginning and at the end of a match. In the beginning, it can be used to capture points that are further away. not only for mobility, but because the first enemies that will arrive will be light tanks, which will be an easy target for your autocannon. As battle goes on, it gets more dangerous, as you will not be safe when enemy forces spread around the map. And towards the end of a match there will be plenty of planes to kill, and since less players are left in ground vehicles and overall in a match, it will be harder to control all capture points, so mobility starts to be valued again. I will rate this vehicle 8 drivers out of 10. An overall amazing vehicle, can fight air and ground targets, it has a significant advantage in speed against armored opponents, and anything with less armor is just an easy target for your autocannon. You destroy them in seconds without even stopping. And despite using wheels instead of trucks, it still maintains biggest speed on sand or snow. But sometimes you will face a heavy armored opponents like KV-1, and you will have no options just to break their gun and run away. Plus, if you have to move across open field, enemies will destroy you before you will get close enough for your fire to be effective. So it's not the most effective choice in the role of anti-tank vehicle. Because of that, I cannot rate it 10 drivers. And still, it's one of the most fun vehicles and a must-have for anyone who enjoys light tanks.